for a Sunday morning drive. It is Sunday. It's a little bit what we call overcast. We had some rain apparently overnight, and I think we're due for showers throughout the day. It is not feeling like a typical weekend in July around town. Although, actually, maybe it is, because July, one of the reasons we stopped doing Get Out of the Car tours in July is because it's, fewer people come to those than they do other ones. I think traditionally in the East, the east of the United States, the Eastern Seaboard, and slightly inland of that, July is traditionally beach month. You go to the Jersey Shore, you go to one of the beaches in Delaware. I mean, I know a couple of people who every weekend this month go down to, one goes to Rehoboth, one goes to Bethany, one goes to Dewey in Delaware, and you got Ocean City. A lot of places down in Virginia. There's places to go to the beach all over the place, the Outer Banks, etc., and they'll come to Gettysburg in July. They come in the first 2 weekends, and that day, and so it's kind of nice. You get a little bit of a break. But I was talking to I was at Bantam Roasters just now getting coffee. By the way, they're a sponsor of the show. If you go to Bantam Roasters and you use the promo code Hancock, you get, I believe, 20% off your order. Anyway, what was I saying now? Oh, so I was talking to the gals behind the counter there, and I said, it's been a pretty light weekend, hasn't it? Has it been busy for you? And she goes, no, not really. Like, it just seems really dead around town. And I was like, I have a theory. And she's like, okay. And I said, my theory is the lockdowns, like, changed a lot of things. People were working from home. People weren't working at all. And it gave a lot of people time to pause and evaluate their lives and adjust. Sales and bicycles went up. People started getting into fitness or started just riding bikes with the family around the neighborhood because they had nothing else to do. A lot of negative things went up. I think more negative came out of that than good. But one of the things I think people did was they realized, like, for a lot of people, the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 block or barriers that we have in our minds were kind of just shattered, because there was a period of time where time didn't matter. Like some bills were, they were giving you breaks on bills. They were deferred to a later time. So, like, you didn't have to worry about the date. You didn't have to worry about the time, except, you got to log into your computer or whatever if you're working from home. But everybody I know that worked from home, just like immediately, they were like, my life is so much easier now. I spend time with my kids. I don't have this commute. I don't have the stress, all this stuff. Anyway, I think what that did was it changed the way people travel. So instead of coming here on the weekends, mainly between Memorial Day and Labor Day, and everybody just shoving it all in, 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, everybody coming to Gettysburg every weekend in that time period, they're spreading it out. They're coming more during the week, because they can work from home here, and it's just like there just seems to be a lot more flexibility now, or whether or not it's allowed, I don't know, but I think people are taking it and they're just saying, this is what I'm going to do. And so I'm seeing, it feels like it's being spread out. Also during the winter time seems to be a little busier than I remember it being around here in Gettysburg. And then also I'm not hearing businesses crying the blues about not bringing in enough money or business being down. And it might be down, on a weekend, but overall for the year, it's not. And so, I don't know. That's kind of my theory there. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Sorry, I didn't see those. Miss Lisi from Punxsutawney finally caught you live. Yes, and what a momentous occasion it is. I'm sure you're very excited. Nice to see Gettysburg quiet. Yeah, me too. I like seeing quiet as well. Are you getting a ton of rain? I don't know if we got a ton. I woke up, the ground was wet. I don't know how much came down overnight or anything. I slept through mostly. Good morning, Gene. Good morning, Garrix or Jerix. I don't remember if we established that the other day. Good morning, Tom Canavan. How are you? At Federal Point Grill, getting breakfast, watching. Oh, I'm going to go in there for breakfast. Anthony Bordner says, hello, buddy. To which I respond, Lords, how are you? Stella says, Glenn and I will be in the Berg at the... Believe it. Aren't you lucky this year? Well, if I don't see you or forget or, get in contact with you at that time, I'll give you an early happy anniversary. How many years is it now, Stella? Okay. I'm going to pull out into traffic once this guy passes. Any requests, ladies and gentlemen? Where would you like to go? I don't have a ton of time. I got groceries here, and I got to get them back to the house, but I didn't. Good morning, Roy. How are you? I didn't want to, go straight home yet. Did Boris get work on his day off? Oh, man, it's like you own a business. Have fun today. You have fun, too. Morning, Stella. Home, morning. Well, I'm going to go this way because no requests have come in yet. It's big 39 for Glenn and I. There you go. Good job. Good for you. Good morning, Kevin. How are you? Todd says, did we already talk about how Bike Week is the... I can't talk this morning. Did we already talk about how Bike Week is the absolute worst? It's so disruptive. I was railing against it in a previous video. Yeah. It is disruptive. It is loud. It is noisy. It is also good for the local economy. And it is also the right of bikers to travel freely in this great land of ours. For now. Apparently there's stuff in the works to limit that for everybody. But in the meantime, you're still allowed to travel freely. And we were talking about it on another video, and I was saying that, it's not the bikers I have the problem with. It's the pipes. And so, I guess by extension or by default, that would be that I have a problem with certain bikers because they modify their pipes to be loud and noisy and obnoxious. But really, it's like, I liken those guys to people who leave negative comments on someone's hard work that they put on YouTube or wherever. Like, it tells me more about that person than it does about anything else. And it's sad. I feel sorry for them. They want attention so badly. Somebody didn't hug them enough as a child or outright hurt them badly as a child. And so they take it out on society. And as big and burly and tough and murderous as some of them might actually look, they're really hurting little boys inside that just need a hug from mommy or daddy. And they haven't gotten it, so they make their pipes really loud and they disrupt everywhere they go. The guy that buys a Harley off the showroom floor and doesn't modify it at all, and it sounds the way it sounds when you start it up at the dealership, they're still a little loud, but they're not unbearably loud. They don't feel like you get punched in the gut sometimes when they backfire. Whatever, that's fine. It's the modifiers. We must give them empathy or sympathy, depending on where you fall on that issue. Of nobody hugging you as a child. But Yeah, that's my theory on that. But it is awful. I mean, you know what? They have the right to travel here. I have the right to travel anywhere else, and that's what I do. I spent the day on Saturday of that week down in Harper's Ferry and Antietam, and it was great, and had a really nice time. And can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. So, okay, we got some more comments. I'm going to pull over and read them here. Okay, so there we are. Todd, absolute worst. Anthony, I requested to go home. Good for you, Anthony. It's your day off, damn it. Mrs. Lisi says, Estella, hubby, and I will be there July 27th. Would you have your birthday? Okay. First day Fields just seems the place to be this morning. Oh, was that your request of where to go? I'm sorry, it didn't come in quick enough for me to make that decision. I think we saw Veronica yesterday on a tour on Baltimore Street. Could be. She always does things on the weekend. I don't know. I've been planning to hit up Gettysburg for the past 2 years. Soon as I'm medically sound, I'm going with my buddy whose relative was wounded on the first day and died later. That's cool. I mean, it's not cool that he died, but cool that he has a relative who was here, Peter. And I wish you a speedy recovery as well. Nobody bring up politics or anything controversial. I don't want Matt to delete this drive like the last two. Yes, thank you, Gene. Please don't. Roy Mead. It is the guys that play their radios as loud as they can, at the same time revving the hell out of their motors that make everyone else look bad. Yeah, so, I mean, loud music, I drive down the road with my windows open, cranking Barry Manilow at the highest volume possible. I'm sure that annoys some people, although it seems a lot of people dance when Copacabana comes on. But otherwise, it's the loud music. I mean, well, the problem is it's all Skinnerd. That seems to be the only thing they listen to. And that annoys me. I can't stand Skinnerd. But otherwise, I don't have a problem generally against the principle of blasting music. It's meant to be listened to loud and to deafen you. But yes, when you mix it with the sounds of the motorcycle, it's too much. And, one is bad enough. But when you have 5 to 30 of them in a pack, it's just, I don't know, whatever. It seems that 90% of the bikes have these modified pipes. Yeah, it does seem that way, Todd. It's not just a few of them. No, it's not. It's a good number. I mean, I don't know if it's 90%, but it's enough of them where if you have, let's say, 15 of them driving down the road and only 5 of them have the modified pipes, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's so loud. And you mix that with the, other ones that don't have the modified pipes, it's Gene says, I agree about loud bikes. It's all look at me. It is. I'm telling you, go find that episode. I don't know what the name of it is, but there's an episode of South Park where they deal with bikers descending on the town, and they just nail it perfectly. Like they just want the attention. Ms. Lizzie, thank you. My husband and I will arrive on the 28th, leave on the 30th. Matt, when you travel, you aren't ruining other people's visit with excessive noise and causing traffic problem. That's the difference. No, when I travel, I go to where I'm going and I lay low. I keep my head down low. I don't like to be that typical boorish American tourist. I'm embarrassed by that. I like to have fun, I like to meet the locals and talk with the locals and everything. Thank you, Liz, for the donation. Happy Sunday to you. That helps going towards gas. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't do that. I do listen to my music loud, but like once I get into town, like for example, when we went to Harper's Ferry, we had the music cranking, but once we got off of whatever that main highway is and got into Harper's Ferry proper, the little, historic part of the town, I turned it down because we were going through slowly. People are walking all around and in the street. And why do they want to listen to me, listening to Helen Reddy? So, they don't want to hear that. So, yeah, I try to be the opposite of what I can't stand when other people do it. The whole golden rule thing, I guess, is what I'm saying. I try. I'm human. I fuck up, but whatever. Tom Canavan, not a request, just my personal opinion for watching sun come up over the town from Oak Ridge. Oh, yeah. Eric, when Eric used to do sunrise videos on Facebook, I went out and met him once on Oak Hill, actually, doing one. And it is pretty to watch the sun come up over the town from there. You're right. I just, that took a lot for me to get up and out at that time. I'm a night guy. So I retire for the night, like around 9 or 10. But I'm up till like 12 or 1. Like I don't go right to bed. I wish I could. I kind of like being up early. Like now that I have the puppy, she wakes me up before my alarm goes off. So I'm getting up closer to 6 now instead of 6:30. It's only a half hour, but whatever. I like, would take her out for a walk and we're the only ones up. Nobody's driving around. The neighbors aren't stirring yet, or maybe they're just starting to stir. It's Sunday morning, people sleep in. I kind of like that. And I was like, man, I wish I could do this every day. I would love to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, walk the dog, feed the dog, go to the gym, get a workout in, and then start my day. I never had that discipline. I've just never been able to do it. And when I did do it, when I did get up before the sun and, go to work or whatever, eventually I got it, but like I never fully slept because I was always afraid of missing my alarm. So I would always like 75% sleep and then keep waking up to check the time and make sure I didn't sleep through my alarm because I'm just so bad at waking up early. But, I could do it. And then if there's somebody else or another being like waking up, then, whatever. All right. Rush should be played loud. Rush should be banned. That's the worst band ever. They're very good technically as musicians, but it's the most annoying music I've ever heard in my life. I had a friend who was a big Rush fan, and it just was like, I don't understand progressive rock. I think that's what that falls under, right? It's like really smart people like doing weird subdivisions of notes and rhythms and time signatures, and it's like I don't need to hear a song in 7/8. Like, who are you impressing besides yourself? The average listener doesn't understand that. Yeah, it's funny how like certain people you knew or certain experiences you had ruin whatever it is, a band, an actor or whatever for you. Like I was saying, in high school I knew a kid who was a big Rush fan, and they were like such dorks about it. It was 2 of them, and they were in a band. One played drums, one played bass. So of course they thought they were Geddy Lee and Neil Peart, and their band sounded very much like Rush. Oh, the guitarist was in Rush too. So it was like all 3 of them were into Rush. So it just was that, ugh. And then they just, ugh, and then, ugh. And another one was Dave Matthews. I remember when he first came out, I was like, this is not bad. This is good music. And, little jazzy, little bluesy, little folky, little bit of everything. I was like, I could appreciate this. And then I met his fans. And I remember like the first time I really reeled at a Dave Matthews fan was, they're like, I said, what are you doing Saturday? You want to go do whatever? They're like, I can't Saturday, man. I'm going to see Dave. I'm like, Dave who? I thought it was like a mutual friend that I just wasn't thinking of. And he's like, Dave Matthews. And I'm like, ew. You call him Dave? Like you know him? And then I realized that his audience was mostly a bunch of pot-smoking, hacky-sack-kicking frat boys. And I was like, that sucks for Dave Matthews. I mean, their money's still green. But, like, he's very talented. And these guys don't know talent from a hole in the ground. But they go and they kick the hacky-sack to Ants Marching and, you know, whatever. In fact, in the winter, I was dating a girl for a couple months, and she was really big into Dave Matthews, and ultimately, that's why I rejected her, because it was either Dave Matthews Band or Top 40 music, modern music, which is like every time we got in the car, like it was like, what are they like? You know, had to have the constantly have a Starbucks cup in her hand, the Uggs boots with the fur, just like that whole, I don't know, what's the word for that? Is that a basic bitch? I don't know what they call it. What do they call it? The kids, what do they call that type of woman who does that, you know? And then it's just, you know, Rihanna and Pitbull on the radio the whole time, or Dave Matthews Band. And I'm like, how do you have the taste for Dave Matthews Band but also listen to this shit? I'm a musical snob. I don't know if you've ever realized that or if I ever admitted it to you before, but I'm very particular about music. And I will literally break up with somebody because of it. It's very Seinfeldian of me, but what can I say? All right, I'm going to just pull over here for a second and catch up on comments. All right, all I have to do is wear a beaver hat for attention. No noise required. The bike's got nothing on me. Yeah, see, I think that's better. Like, or that kid Javier that we had on Thursday's show with his whole getup. I think it's more respectable to just subtly demand attention by wearing a beaver hat or the getup that he had. You know, just going around where people can hear you coming before they see you. That's obnoxious. And listen, I know, I hear this, everybody always makes a point to say this. I know not all bikers are bad. I know not all bikers ride Harleys with the straight pipes. Some of them ride those little crotch rockets. Those just look silly to me. So I get it. You're wonderful people. All I have to do is I read that one. Come meet us at the cemetery at 11 for a cemetery tour. Are you talking to me? You really get looks when you are blasting fifes and drums out of your vehicle. Peter, I do that. Like sometimes I'm in a particularly battle mood and I'll drive around the battlefield and I'll blast either fife and drums, the movie soundtrack, or the Glory soundtrack, or even the Son of the Morning Star soundtrack, which I think the opening, if you search it on YouTube, Son of the Morning Star soundtrack, I think the first one that comes up is like the whole soundtrack in one. And the opening title is just, I think it just gives me chills. I love it. Yeah, and actually, if you've watched the episode I did with Jim Hessler about the Gettysburg ties to the Little Bighorn, I put that song in it, and it's really pretty. But anyway, driving around the battlefield with that is fun, and people do look at you like you're crazy, but who cares? At least the noise you're making in that instance has something to do with where you are. Then do a sunset video. Yeah, I have to get back to doing sunset videos. I gotta tell you, folks, it's a lot to keep up with. The social media part of things, like the Facebook page, Eric ran that when Eric was here. I don't have anybody else who said, "Oh, I'll do it in Eric's stead." And I, frankly, I hate Facebook. Number one, but number two, I feel that for like business wise, revenue wise, it's better to focus more on YouTube than Facebook. And so we have the Gettysburg Forum, the Addressing Gettysburg Forum, which is a private group on Facebook. We've got like 900 members, I think. And they're, a bunch of Gettys nerds sit around talking about whatever. That's run by Chris Whittemore. That's someone else who runs that for us. So that's good. I don't have to deal with that. But, once in a while, like he sent me, there's someone who keeps reporting other people's posts because they're not in line what she thinks the group is supposed to be about. And so then he has to put a reminder out to everybody that, it's everything and anything Gettysburg related and show related. Apparently there's people in the forum that aren't necessarily listeners of the show, which I don't really understand that. I thought it was supposed to be about that. But see, that's what happens when you don't actually do it yourself. So anyway, they, it's show based. And then it branches out from the show, not the other way around, or at least that's the intention. But, people partake in it and it kind of becomes its own thing. And, like I said, I don't really deal with it too much because I can't stand Facebook. Watching Wimbledon final and listening to a Gettysburg podcast. I'm a lucky girl. I remember in high school, for senior year, spring semester, you were allowed to choose what you wanted to play for the semester because we would go outdoors. And I chose tennis because I thought it would be easy, but it wasn't, because I would swing the racket with the force that you would swing a baseball bat. And the ball would go flying into outer space. And I was constantly leaving the court to go retrieve the ball. And then my friend and I just would play air guitar on it and sing Hootie and the Blowfish or something like that. And then get yelled at by the gym teacher for not doing anything. And it was like, well, I really can't control this. Not that I couldn't control playing air guitar. I didn't have the finesse, the light enough touch to hit the sweet spot on the racket and make the ball go. So, like, I admire people that could play tennis because I just can't get the hang of it. Any sport, really. I just never had the interest. And the ones that go like, oh, that looks like it might be fun, I don't have the, whatchamacallit for. The dexterity, flexibility, ability. Just no Springsteen, the Dave Matthews of the 70s. Yeah, and that's a great comparison. Bruce, they call him Bruce. I've heard people call him Bruce. Go to see Bruce, man. Bruce who? Is that your uncle? No, Bruce, man. Bruce Springsteen. Oh, shut up. Dave Matthews was the house band for Celador in D.C. Yeah, my cousin went to James Madison, and they used to play there before they got big. Was he from Harrisonburg, I think? I know he was born in South Africa, but I feel like that band is out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. All good. I respect your opinion on Rush. Thank you, King. There's nothing you'd be able to do to change it, and I'm not trying to change yours. I'm just saying, Geddy Lee's voice alone just makes my skin crawl. Legends of the Fall is a good soundtrack. Oh, I'll have to revisit that. I love that movie. That's a great movie. So is Braveheart. Braveheart has a great soundtrack too. He's from Charlottesville. Okay. He's from Fairfax. This guy lived everywhere. Yeah, I've seen the Napoleon trailer. I can't wait to see it. What stupid streaming service do I have to get to see that now, or is that going to be in theaters? But it looks good. Although, so a friend of mine who's like big into Napoleon sent it to me. And there's a shot in there. It was hard for me to tell because it was all quick cuts and everything. But there's a shot in there where I'm assuming it's Napoleon lures he has his artillery on the opposite bank of a river or a lake or something like that, and they're under tarps, and somehow lures the enemy out onto the lake, which is frozen and covered with snow, and then they realize they're on ice, and then the tarps are taken off the cannon are fired, it shatters the ice, and the whole battalion or whatever falls into the water. And I wrote back to him, I was like, that looks really cool. And I go, but I have to believe that even a non-student of Napoleon would have heard of the whole cannonballs breaking the ice thing, if that really happened, because that sounds like a legendary move. And I've never heard of that in any Napoleon's battles or anything like that. Or maybe because it's a trailer, so it might have been taken out of context. Maybe it's a earlier battle that Napoleon was in that he wasn't the commander, he was just a regular soldier. I don't know anything about Napoleon really. So, but I figured that would, and he said he hadn't heard of that either. So that's probably Hollywood, but it looks cool. And Napoleon is an interesting guy who should be revisited in film today. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. If you say you're going to see Weird Al, everyone knows who you mean. Yes. Weird Al we were just talking about Weird Al last night. No, the night before. And how we liked his polka medleys at the end of his albums. Liz says, I should say the band is from here. So you're in Charlottesville. Okay. Yeah, Charlottesville sounded familiar. And now that you say it, it sounds more familiar than Harrisonburg. So I think that he just used to play at James Madison. Trimbaud says, there are a few good bands I can't listen to because of singer like Smashing Pumpkins. Amen to that. I heard that despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage the other day on the radio, and I stepped out until it was over. It's just, Billy Corgan's voice annoys the hell out of me. They were weird. I never liked Smashing Pumpkins. They were like, I can't describe how I see them because that would be offensive to people, so forget it. But I didn't like their anything about them. I didn't like the look. I didn't like the sound. They were just weird. They weirded me out. Historically correct, but not on that scope. Hollywood at its best. So, Austerlitz. Okay, so wait, that really happened with the ice? That's crazy. Now I needed to learn about Napoleon. That's fascinating. That's my groceries, you stupid bar. Well, all of a sudden it wants me to put... All right, excuse me as I pull over and put the seatbelt on my groceries. Oh, how stupid is that? Without your car beeping incessantly to the point where, like, I have groceries on my seat and decided now it feels like there's a human being there and it's going to tell me to put the seatbelt on. Say what? All right, I might lose you for a second going down here. Often do, so just stick around. We'll be back. So who? Estella is coming down. I think someone else said that they're coming to Gettysburg soon. Who has plans to come to Gettysburg for a weekend? Ms. Lisi does. All right. Yes. I believe you were talking. You were the one who was talking with Estella about coming down. I'm going to turn here on Crawford Ave. So only Miss Lisi and Estella are planning on coming down before Labor Day, it appears, or there's a lot of shy people in there who don't want to say. The conditions of the lake, water is low, and there's a blue heron standing on a tree, and I don't see any beeve. I think they could drain it now. It's becoming its own thing. We could drain this. We don't need it anymore. Is Remembrance Week as crazy as the anniversary in July? No. Weekend, I wouldn't say it's as crazy. No, it's not, because there aren't. It's busy as the anniversary. October is actually the craziest month because every weekend there's at least 2 things going on, and not necessarily battle related things. Like, a lot of it is college and agricultural things, like Apple Harvest Festival. College has it's either alumni or parents weekend, or it might be both. I don't know. They have a couple of weekends, so there's a lot. So if you're thinking of coming in August, I'm sorry, did I say August before? I'm in October. If you're thinking of coming in October, I'd start getting a hotel now. If you're coming down for the Get Out of the Car tour, especially, it's the most important event in the month of October, of course, because there might not be hotels. In fact, I know this because last year, a couple of my friends did not take my advice in July when I told them to get the hotel now. And like a bunch of arrogant a-holes, they said, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'll get a room. And they waited too long. They waited a week out. And then one called me and one texted me, and they're like, hey, I can't find a hotel room. What happened? And I was like, I told you. What I'm talking about. You think about what to get someone. And you guessed wrong. Does the mine stay open later on weekends? I don't know. Look, here's the deal. I don't keep up on businesses' hours. Businesses themselves don't even stick to their posted hours in this town. So I don't know. I don't know what. Somebody asked me Friday. He's like, "Hey, my wife and I are in town. Any good tours going on at 10 o'clock tomorrow?" I'm like, what? What am I, a travel agent? I don't know. I'm flattered you think I do, but I don't know. I don't know these answers. I said, go to the goddamn Park Service website. They'll tell you what they got going on there. So we ended up just getting breakfast and sat there for 4 hours, which was nice. It was nice to catch up. Oh, that's why you're the king. Oh, wait, no, sorry. It wasn't King who said that. The thing, that was Ms. Lisi. Okay, sorry. 35 watching and only 14 likes. You know who you are. Smash that like for Matt. Thank you, King. That's very kind of you. They might not like it. That now. God forbid they like it just to be kind to a fellow human being, meager living. You know. But they may not like it, and it just is so reprehensible to them to press a little button that means something to me, one person. It means nothing to the rest of the world, and they'll be fine, and their day will go on. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. All right, so now we've got a beautifully paved Sedgwick Avenue. Ah, feel how smooth that is. Can you guys feel that? That's nice. That's nice. Next weekend for Dr. Jen Murray's programs at AHC. What's AHC? Adams Historical County? It's got to be. Oh, well. Anyone else got passes for the movie anniversary 13th through 15th? I got a hotel a month ago for me to come twice, and I don't have anything for the movie. Which reminds me, I gotta call Bo and see if I can sneak in on his coattails. It's the movie anniversary thing is leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and it's not even over. Hasn't even happened yet. But all I'm saying is this: someone who is a nobody, okay, I'm not going to say who, but he's bald and talking to you right now, was somehow able to manage to get interviews with the actors, not having any big money budget behind him, nothing like that, but was able to do it when he was nobody knew who he was, and yet he got them. And if I do say so myself, I've heard other people interview people, did a pretty good job interviewing these people. In fact, those people who've been interviewed by far more professional and successful interviewers than I told me directly, "You're a very good interviewer. I can't believe you're only doing this." I said, "Yeah, you and me both, buddy." So I just think it's a little, for me, disappointing that, there's opportunities to do things, and I haven't heard from certain people. So we'll leave it at that. Planning on late August, want to walk Culp's Hill and take the Beyond the Battle Museum Seminary. Yeah, that's, you're staying for more than one day, right? That's a lot for one day. After 10 p.m., the whole town is crickets. After 10, like after 5, the crickets start to come out. Half the businesses close. And then people start going, well, I guess we'll just go watch TV back at the hotel. And then 9 o'clock, forget it. I thought you were the party man about town. That's why I asked. No. I like to host parties. I don't particularly go to parties. And I don't drink anymore. So I'm more of a restaurant. They don't have food at the mine. So I don't go to the mine very often. I maybe once or twice a year I'll go because someone wants to, but I'm more of a guy who likes to go to dinner or lunch or breakfast or have someone cook for me at home or have someone invite me over to their house for food. I don't mind cooking, the cleaning. So I tend to not cook, so I don't have to clean. The Bachelor's Life. Hang with this crew, Miss Lisi, and they are buzzed crickets. I don't know what that means, but okay. You're more than welcome to hang with us, regardless of cricket status. Was watching Gettysburg and noticed Buford seems really annoyed with Devin on the first day. Wonder, I've caught that too, and I wonder the same thing. or if that's just Sam Elliott's face. Because there's that one thing where, is it when Devin says, we'll fight them all the live long day, and like, Sam Elliott gives him a scowl. He doesn't say anything, though. He just gives him a look. Is that what you're talking about? I've noticed that too. He looks annoyed with him. Let's see. We'll go this way. I mixed my letter up. Adams County Historic. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. The movie thing seems kind of kicky. What does that mean? Kicky. Chicky? Cheeky? Clicky? Cheesy? Cucky? Milepost says, yes, 3 days, have to take the wife to the Dobbin house at least twice for the onion soup. Absolutely. That soup is so good. I have not had an equally good or better onion soup anywhere, not just in Gettysburg, anywhere, than the one that they have at the Dobbin house. To me, what sets it over the edge is the chunks of beef that you might get in there. And when you get a big old chunk, oh, it's like the Carolina Pine Forest. It is beautiful. Will you move? Thank you. God. It's not a parade. Clicky. Okay. I think CLIQU. He says, I hope the rain doesn't slow up Reynolds. Then Sam Elliott looks at him like he wants to kick him in the nuts. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Yeah, Buford's looking at him like, Reynolds, am I not enough for you? Like, almost like he's jealous that he's, Devin's worrying about Reynolds and isn't, fawning over him. Of course, Buford wasn't really that kind of a guy. Neither was Reynolds. And that's not what it is. But I don't, Maybe what it is, what he's reacting to is the kind of like whimsical manner in which, I think it's Gamble, isn't it? It's not Devin, it's Gamble who says it. Because he's just kind of like, sure hope the rain doesn't spoil Reynolds. And I think Buford's like got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and this guy's worrying about, it's not even, it's a legitimate worry, but it's like the way he's just kind of like, I think that might be what it is he's responding to that. Like, can you be a little more serious? Can you realize the gravity of the situation and not have such a whimsical attitude? I'm kind of regretting spending $150 each for hubby and me to attend the movie thing. Why are you regretting that? We just turned on Colgrove Avenue, and we are heading towards Culp's Hill. Then I'm going to head towards home. And unload my groceries, make myself some breakfast. Although now I'm talking about that crepe place, I kind of want to go back there, but I mustn't. Underrated scene in the movie. Buford, exhausted, looking into sky. Well, General Reynolds, we held the high ground. Yeah, he does look exhausted there, especially the way he puts his head down on the wheel. Gamble seemed to be a devil's advocate when Buford wasn't wanting to hear. Yeah. I think that's Hollywood, though. I think that's Drumbered. But you've got to hold. You've got to delay them until the infantry can come up. And I don't think they really explain it in the dialogue that, cavalry is not designed to fight and hold against infantry in the Civil War. And so I think that's like an inside baseball thing. Like, I think we understand the tension and the drama of that moment because we know exactly why it would be a thing that would get you all worked up. But the average viewer, I don't think so. In fact, even like when I first saw the movie, I didn't know any of that stuff, so I didn't quite understand the drama of that moment until I learned more about all this stuff, and then I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So that's like a subtle thing that they throw in there, which is good to me. Like, I love that. Cottage Creperie was amazing. Treat yourself and go. I know. I just went there yesterday, though. I really have to save money. My friend is a financial advisor, and so we were talking yesterday, and I'm like, I saved X amount of dollars last year to reinvest in my business. My tax bill was $1,000 less than what I saved. And I was like, how the hell is somebody supposed to get ahead? And I'm like, I had a financial advisor. I have one still. And the advice she gave me, I was like, I want to shield my money and put it in retirement and things like that. And so let's do the most we can. And I ended up paying more than I did the year before. And I had more write-offs this year, or so I thought. But some of the things she told me were write-offs were not write-offs. And so I got effed. And I don't want to have to get a loan. I don't want to have to borrow. I want to earn the money and put it in myself. But I'm starting to think I just have to be like everybody else and get myself on the hook and develop an ulcer worrying if I'm ever going to be able to pay the debt off, which I don't want to do. It's Gamble, and I think he's reminding Buford that he owes 2 brigades of cavalry and that he feels like the infantry has been slow before in an earlier scene. Oh, that's interesting, Rich. That's a good take. Well, and then there's that. Devin's like, well, hell, we held all day at Thoroughfare Gap, and Gamble's like, and they never came. It's like, Gamble seems to be the party pooper. Combat period doesn't make a good movie. It's pure chaos. It has to be cleaned up for... You're absolutely right, Peter. Yeah, when... I've seen videos of guys fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan and now Ukraine. And I can't make heads or tail of what's going on. Can't even see the damn enemy, but they're shooting at something. So yeah, I mean, it's got to be confusing, and movies have to make it not confusing. What you're doing right now is a write-off. Yes, I'm aware of that, and we were talking about that last night. So I'll be driving quite a bit more. And yeah, I guess I should start saving my gas receipts too, because there's a lot of things to write off. But again, you write them off, but only a certain percentage of it is write-offable. they get you, man. They really get you. Don't get me started on taxes again. I don't want to have that conversation. Good freaking morning, mate. Good freaking morning to you, Agent Bambi. How are you? You're a business owner too, and you're not kidding about taxes. Unreal. Oh, it's very real. It's very real and very criminal. The only problem is the people that would arrest the people that make these tax laws are the people that are making the tax laws. So we're screwed. The new bus tour center is huge. Yeah, it's really not. It's the same footprint, I believe. No, it is. It's the same footprint as the old one. They just added a story to it, which kind of sucks because I wish they had dug down a story, because now the view is ruined. There was a cool view from East Cemetery Hill that you could see out to Oak Hill and everything. But you know what? It's town. Town is ruined. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything about it. It's not like that's the only thing that's gonna ruin the view. So I just gotta live with it. You know. What I'm more worried about is this town, or not town, the apartment building that they're talking about putting up north of town, near the whatchamacallit, where the farmers market was there, between Stratton Street and Carlisle Street. I had thousands of pictures and videos from Iraq, but the sand killed the laptop it was on. Huge kick in my pants. Yeah, that sucks. That sand, man, that gets into everything, doesn't it? Just ruins all the fun. Some of those things, have you seen these videos coming out of Ukraine? Like the drones that like drop the little grenades on the guys? Have you seen any of that? It's like, or the guy that got out of a troop transport and stepped on a mine and blew his leg off. Eesh. It's some ugly business. And I don't understand what it's all about. Like, I don't know why. I'll give you one little, we'll do one little drive by Channing's Knoll, and then I'll bid you a good day. All right, we're going down Channing's Knoll here, and we're going to Channing's Knoll, I should say. The slope, the north slope of Channing's Knoll, and gone down to the creek, and then turned around and looked up at Channing's Knoll. It's, you know, It's a hill. It's definitely a hill. But it's cool. It's cool to look up there and, imagine, if you could see the guns, and just imagine a line of troops up there, and Channing looking the other way. And I think it's it's just a different perspective that you get. Like, obviously I believe in getting out of the car and feeling the terrain, the ground moving under your feet, or undulating under your feet, and you'll get a better sense of what these guys had to go through. Because imagine, like, you're trying to march in formation, people are shooting at you, guys are going down left and right. I mean, it's just got to be a mess. And then the ground, the ground is doing its own thing, and it might trip you. There might be a root sticking out, or crops, or who knows. There's a lot of stuff. It's not just like going across a football field. So I always try to get out and get a feel for that stuff. All right. Well, folks, I want to say thank you for spending this time with me here. You are gentlemen and scholars. Oh, let's see here. Sorry. Apartment buildings always turn into low-income housing after some time. Happened in my town. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like they couldn't make it like luxury apartments. I mean, they could, and there might be some people who could afford it at first. But I don't know, man. The way things are going, that's not going to last very long. So yeah, eventually it would turn into low income. Maybe not HUD, but Channing's Knoll, named after the lovely Carol Channing. Yes. Having been in one war, the meaning is always retrospect. Yeah, I can understand that. I just don't. Well, in retrospect, what the hell was the point of the last 20 years of wars? We gave them up. Like, both of them, we just gave up. I don't like our soldiers being wasted on wars that we don't ever intend to win. That's wrong. So happy that used car dealership was torn out. Yeah, me too. The Confederacy and its monuments are the only thing left to remind us of a Jeffersonian government. Tom Candyman. Thank you, Matt. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Too bad someone isn't there to read comments for you, or maybe drive. Yeah, that'd be nice. Someday. We'll get there someday. Well, there you go, Gene. If you ever move here, let me know. There's no easy way to end wars. Sure there is. You destroy the enemy, which we don't do. We don't destroy the enemy anymore. But we used to be good at it. Okay, it's not easy to destroy the enemy. You can't just do it, right? The war starts on Wednesday, and Thursday you destroy them. They have a say in the matter, too. I understand what you're saying. But ultimately, if you're willing to go balls to the wall, you can win the war. But we're not willing to do that anymore. I don't think we haven't been willing to do that since World War II. And so, but yet we still send guys to go and die for nothing. And now, have you heard of all the things they've done to our military now? Like, we're toast, folks. We're toast. Smoke them if you got them, because we're going down. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The UN can kiss my ass. All right, we are going to go, and that's it. So you guys have yourselves a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you next time.